the wild winds call. Jasper's walking, taking pictures of it all. Boots on the ground, heart in the sky, following the blazes, just a rambling guy. Through the valleys, over the hills, chasing that freedom, feeling the thrill. With every sunrise, he's finding his way, living the dream, one step a day. Trail named Jasper, walking on through, Bruce Trail bound with a camera view, hiking the ridges, chasing the light. Like and subscribe.
Well, there has been some changes. What a beautiful, beautiful morning. So, today we find ourselves at the northern end of the Blue Mountain section of the Bruce Trail and the southern end of the Beaver Valley section of the Bruce Trail. Oh yeah, that's where we are. But this time, I'm not sure when changes were made. Oh, fuck me. Okay, I'm back again. That was my, I guess my better half. Well, Joanne anyhow, checking, because she said she hadn't written down where I was going. And she likes to write it down so she knows, just in case I never come back, so she knows where I went. Anyhow, okay, so as I was saying, there's been changes all in this area, all over the place actually, but some of it is due to wind, not wind, but well, yeah, wind. Back in March, the ice storm and wind and so on. There's still areas of the trail that are closed because of that, or rerouted. And then I also believe this particular section that I would have normally been on now is now permanently closed due to landowners' request. So I guess we are now technically in, well, we're definitely in the Beaver Valley section, the beginning of the Beaver Valley section, and we are going to push north. We're on a 2-day hop. I hope everything I just said made sense. It's just, my point is, there's been lots of rerouting in this area, for sure, for sure. So we're on a 2-day hop. We are heading to the Metcalf Rock, where we will wild camp. Now, this is a hike we've done before, but we have not done this for quite a while. I bet it's a year since we've done this particular hike, ever since I changed my living location. I just haven't done this particular hike very much. Well, anyhow, in the last year. There's a right turn, Blaze. Some information. Let's just see what this information says. Yeah, you can see now. Okay, so what's been cut out is this piece here. That was the old piece. This is the new piece, I guess. We're right here now. We just parked here. Normally just walk across, so it's these landowners here. No big deal, not very much at all. Okay, I see it now. Exactly what's taken place there. Okay, so this works out perfectly. Yeah, something a little different to start off the morning. Okay, a little bit more about what we're doing later, but right now let's just get to it, shall we? So part of the new trail takes us right through the middle of a wheat field. So I think what is in order is a most appreciated thank you, because I'm sure we all know how hard a farmer works to make his living, but more importantly, to provide the sustenance. In this case, it looks like wheat, but the crops that we need so we can get our daily bread, shall we say. Now, this farmer, he's elected to, maybe agreed to, offered, I don't know what, but whatever, he's allowing us to walk right through the middle of this crop. With that in mind, there's a sign giving instructions about where to walk to minimize the damage to this farmer's crop. And of course, I urge everyone follow those rules, obey those signs, and be very appreciative of the fact that this farmer has done this for us. Because if it wasn't for this farmer, I have no idea where we'd be right now. So yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Farmer. We very much appreciate the use of your land. And a narrow path through a wheat field may or may not seem like a lot of, crop loss, but if you think about it, and you look all the way behind me, that's about a 2-foot width all the way through his field of lost crop. That's got to be significant. Certainly has a value to it, that's for sure. Okay, thank you, Mr. Farmer. It is Monday the 28th of July. Nice breezy morning. It's going to be a hot day today, somewhere in the 30s, 32 I think, somewhere in there, 30, 31, 32, 33 maybe degrees Celsius. But the nice breeze, well, this morning anyhow, it's early, feels nice. But yes, you also know it's going to be a hot day. So, again, we're heading to the Metcalf Rock. This particular hike today, I believe, according to the Bruce Trail app, is 28 kilometers, 28 and a half kilometers. Well, it's going to be 50, say, 56, 58 kilometers for the round, which is today and tomorrow. Again, a wild camp at the Metcalf Rock, which we've camped many times. We just haven't done this particular hike, as I mentioned, for probably a year anyhow. Again, a lot of that was just due to the hip replacement and so on, and the damage that was done to my hip before the hip replacement, pain and inability to really log miles. Anyhow, okay, so at this particular point, let me see now, yeah, at this particular point, we're back on the Bruce Trail proper, at least I believe so, but I think it went through there. I don't know if that part's changed, just not seeing a marker right here, but then again the sun's blaring in my face. So the trail used to come right through here, I think. Yeah. Sure, the trail came that way. Has it changed? I don't know. Take a look at the view from here, by the way. Wow. Take a look at that. Oh yeah, isn't that pretty? Hope you can see it. I hope the sun's not blinding us. Blinding me. Okay, let's go. So, if you remember on our last 2-day hike, 50 kilometers on the Boost Trail, I believe it's called, training hike. And that's what essentially we're doing today, except it's a further distance. And it's just training for our up and coming through hike next month, which is about 3 weeks from now, which of course is the Rideau Trail. Hope you've all watched the video. But I would like to send out a big thank you to Ryan, Ed, Isabel. Let me see. Okay, Ryan and Isabel. Oh, disco golf. That's what they're playing. Okay. Sorry. I was sidetracked. I was reading some science. It was about disc golf. Seems to be up and coming. But anyhow, Ryan and Isabel, they saw fit, and I very much appreciate it. Thank you. They showed their appreciation to the channel with a monetary gift, which they'd e-transferred to me. They've seen our Buy Me a Coffee program. And it was Ryan and Isabel that actually afforded me or allowed me to buy the new titanium cook pot that we used on that particular hike, which of course we're using again today. So again, Ryan and Isabel, thank you for your generous support of our channel and your kind comments and emails and so on. It's very much appreciated. And if others out there would like to join in on the Buy Me a Coffee program, it's just designed to help financially support the channel, because it does get expensive. And anyhow, you can just e-transfer your support to trailnamejasper@gmail.com. Again, that's trailnamejasper@gmail.com. And any and all contributions go directly to supporting the channel insofar as the equipment that's needed. Oh, cobwebs, by the way. The equipment that's needed, getting from A to B, to actually get these hikes done, and buying the gear that we use to review, such as the Nature Hike 60-liter pack that we're still in the process of reviewing. I like to make sure I use a piece of equipment really well. I'll do an unboxing and a first look, but then it's usually a little while after that before I'll do any kind of a review of that equipment. I like to use it, work it, test it, abuse it, pretty much treat it the way most through hikers will treat their gear. It has to work, it has to perform, it has to do its job, it has to hold up. Either way, if it does or it doesn't, it's something we'd speak about in the actual review itself, such as right now, the Nature Hike 60-liter pack, as I'd mentioned, plus the 1-liter titanium pot that I'm now using as my cook pot. You remember on the last video, or the last 2-day training hike we did, we used the Boundless Voyage burner or cook stove itself. And this time I brought with me the which is a high pressure, it's a high pressure burner. This time I brought with me the low pressure burner of the burner that came with the original Jetboil stash that I used to have, but I kept the burner just to compare. So far the pot is working out great, but again, it's a pot without a heat exchanger, so that's still work in progress. It's going to take a while before I decide that that would be my kind of full-time pot, cook pot going forward. So again, thank you to Ryan and Isabel. And again, if anyone would like to support our channel, just e-transfer a toonie or whatever you feel, if you get something out of the videos, to trailnamejasper@gmail.com. Okay, that takes care of that little bit of business today. The hike goes well. We're only 30 minutes in. Now, I don't know what to think about that. It's a chicken salad sandwich on whole wheat bread. Sat here on a post right on the side of the trail. Here's the trail markers and so on. I can only assume someone lost it and someone must have sat it there. I can't possibly believe a chicken salad sandwich just sat there by itself would be trail magic. No. Okay, I just wanted to show you that. Yeah. It's surprising what you actually see on trail. Well, can't remember which attempt because I've done it 6 times, a through hike of the Bruce, but on one of them, going through the Hamilton area, I came across a pair of shoes right on the trail. Just a pair of nice black shoes. A little further, I came across a pair of trousers. Nice pair of trousers right there on the trail. A little further, I came up with a pair of gentlemen's underwear right there on the trail. A little further, a shirt, nice dress shirt right there on the trail. I mean, I like to keep myself to myself. Oh, now this section is now closed because you used to go down right there, but now they've got us going this way. Okay, now I like to keep myself to myself. I don't like to interfere with other people's activities or business, and I do my very, very best not to form opinions, although that does get the best of me sometimes. But you can't help but wonder what in God's name was going on. Shoes, trousers, underwear. Oh, and socks. There was socks too. Shirt. It's like at the end of this quarter-mile section of trail, what in God's name was this man wearing? Probably nothing at that point. Okay. The Bruce Trail has some of the most wonderful and beautifulest sections of trail that I've ever hiked on. Now, I have hiked a lot, but one section of the Bruce Trail that is always a long-standing favorite of mine is the Laurie Forest. And that's where we are right now. It's just a beautiful part of trail. Now, there's an awful lot of debris down now. If you take a look, all this, and it goes on for a long way, was just remnants of the March wind and ice storm that we had. And all these trails were closed for a long time. Well, the volunteer crews got them reopened. There are all these trees removed from the trail, cut up, and yeah. But the Laurie Forest, just a beautiful, beautiful section of the Bruce Trail in the Beaver Valley section. Oh yeah, it is. So let's take a couple of minutes and talk about, first of all, pack weight, and secondly, the footwear I'm using for this 2-day hike. So first of all, pack weight. With food for the 2-day hike, plus a little extra, 600 ml of electrolyte water, no camp water, and all my gear. I'm coming in at 10 kilos. Now, I'm carrying a little extra gear insofar as I have my lightweight poofy jacket. Don't particularly need it, but I have it. My rain jacket, don't need it, but I have it. And the only difference between this hike and any through hike that I'm doing, as far as pack is concerned, or weight, would be food. If I'm on a through hike, I'm usually carrying more food, unless it's resupply day or the day before resupply day maybe. But generally speaking, I'm carrying a few days worth of food and possibly camp water, depending on the trail, location of water, and so on. So that's what would increase my pack weight. Secondly, footwear. So on this particular 2-day hop, I've elected to go back to my ASIC Gel Venture 7s. And I will tell you why. I've been having trouble with my toes on the UK hikes, coast to coast, West Island Way, Great Glen Way, 625 kilometers. The majority of that, day and night, my feet, socks, shoes were just wet. There was never a reprieve long enough for things to dry out. So the majority of that time, my feet were wet. And in that time, I developed, I don't know if we'd call it trench foot, I don't know what that is, I've just heard of that, but my toenails, they took a beating with that water. I think like maybe a toenail fungus of some kind. I am treating it now with a little liquid, an over-the-counter toenail fungus kind of treatment. You brush it on. Anyhow, it's been very painful at times. The toes very sensitive, the toenails very sensitive, even coming off, toenails coming off. So rather than using my ultras, be it Lone Peaks, Superiors, or Olympus, because of the shape of the toe box, even though it's very wide, it cuts down on as the toes get smaller. The ultras cut down drastically, whereas the ASIC Gel Venture 7s is more rounded, if you will, and even from left to right. And so I went with those today. Now, they were originally my footwear of choice. First through hike of the Bruce Trail were done in the ASIC Gel Venture 7s or 6s, I think then. I don't know what number they're at now, 8, 9s. But anyhow, the drawback to this shoe is when they get wet, they're not waterproof, but when they get wet, and they do, they stay wet a little longer. But when there's no opportunity for anything to dry, then one of the benefits of the Vast Drying Ultra, you've kind of lost that, because there's just no reprieve long enough for anything to dry. So that's what I'm using so far. And so far this morning, my toes are fine. Footwear extremely comfortable. We'll see. We got, 58, 60 kilometers to do over the 2 days, so we'll see how we are at the end of it. And keeping in mind, I have been treating the toenails, and I will continue to do so. Okay, it's a little bit about the gear that we're using today. Everything else is pretty much standard. Using my Big Agnes Tiger Wall, using my Patagonia sleeping bag, my summer synthetic sleeping bag liner, my Thermarest Neoware ultralight sleeping pad, all those things. Of course, my new titanium cook pot with the low pressure burner from the Jetboil stash, and my Katadyn Be-Free water filter. Oh yeah, lots of water on this particular trail. Don't need to carry any other than drinking water. Even at camp, right at camp, basically, there's a river, but the river has a pipe feeding into it, which is a natural spring. People come from miles around, Toronto, wherever, 100, 200 kilometers away, to collect that water, take it home. You don't need to filter, it's just beautiful, cold spring water. Okay, let's keep enjoying the Laurie Forest. Coming up to a break time soon, just off. Now, the trail used to go right past this big deck lookout at, I don't know if that's Craigleith or Georgian Peak Ski Club. Then they rerouted just a little bit. But we carry on the old trail so we can take advantage of the benches on the big wooden platform lookout where we'll take a little break. And that will be our second break so far today. It's a warm day. Lots of sweat going on. It's going to be hot. Sun's hot. So, frequent breaks. Just take your time. Get your miles done. And I'm just throwing out there, we'll reach Metcalf Rock by about 5 o'clock. Late afternoon. Early evening. About 5 o'clock-ish. Tea time. Supper time. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay, let's just keep working our way along the trail. Okay, we're arriving at this big deck lookout. Now, as I mentioned, now, maybe for the last year or so, technically this has now been off trail, but it's used a lot by hikers coming up from the road at the bottom, which is 26, climbing up here. There's good parking at the bottom, I believe. Okay. Nice and shaded. We'll just take a little break here. Some electrolyte water. Maybe a Kit Kat bar. Yeah. So, it's about 3 weeks to when I start my next through hike, which of course is the Rideau Trail, 350 kilometers. Kingston, Ontario to our nation's capital, Ottawa. Did that last year, pretty much exactly the same time, give or take a day or two. Yeah, it's a challenging trail insofar as the Frontenac Park is challenging underfoot. There's a lot of swamp, a lot of areas you have to make your own trail, poorly marked, and yeah, actually quite wildernessy and ruggedy kind of trail. And then of course you reach, for the last 30 or 40 kilometers, you reach the outskirts of Ottawa. And so then you're on kind of groomed Greenland trail, or Greenbelt, I should say, trail. I'm not sure if you can see through the trees. It's difficult, but somewhere down there, somewhere in there, you see some white tops, if you will, tops of like little buildings. Those are observatories. Yes, telescopes pointing into the great beyond. That's part of the Toronto University celestial studies, maybe, facility. They study the stars and the planets and so on. Really, really interesting. So this area is considered, not particularly published as such, but it's still considered a low light, like on a night, of course, a low light kind of area. So it is nice for celestial photography, the Milky Way, stars, this kind of thing. Okay, just thought I'd kind of point that out to you. So just a little further down the trail, we come to a spot. It's a water source, little kind of gentle waterfalls, if you will, fairy pools. Bench. Used to be 2 benches there, but the last time I was here, one of the benches had disintegrated and go on, basically. There's one left. Oh, there was. I remember now, by the way, just because of that section behind me, the last time I was through here, which was over a year ago, which was actually 14 months ago. It was May of 2024, because I remember the water. Yeah, it could have been April, but I remember the water along the trail, and the wet feet and so on. Of course, it's dry now, but here we are, the 28th of July. Okay, so yeah, we're going to take a break. I'm thinking a coffee and maybe a cup of soup with some potato. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I find the heat. I mean, we're logging our miles, don't get me wrong. We're getting our miles done, we're doing great. But it is kind of, it does beat you down a little bit, that's for sure. Just the constant sweating. Keep having to stop and mop up all the sweat off your head. But that's what a buff is for right there. One of the many, many, many functions of that little piece of cloth. And it's funny, I'll tell you about this one. This one here did the very first Bruce Trail with me. And it's done every single through hike with me since then. So since 2019, I paid $1 for it at the dollar store in Wasaga Beach, Ontario. Wow. He's been with me all these years and is mopped up. Blood, sweat, tears. A few other little things we don't want to talk about. But it's been with me and it's got to be the best dollar I ever spent. Okay, getting close to my break time. I don't know what time it is, but we are going to do the lunch there. We did have our 2 packets of oatmeal this morning, but that was about 5:30. I'd set up my wake up at 5, so it was about 5:30 this morning at my home. But now it's got to be pushing 11 or more. We'll see. Okay, so right here, now there's not a lot of water running down here, but there is water running. Just not a lot. We haven't had much rain lately. It rained a couple of days ago, but not a ton of rain. But yeah, very pretty. Little waterfall, little rapids, fairy pools. When there's a little bit more water running through, it's much more interesting, but you know what, it's still pretty. So this is where I'm going to take my break. Have my coffee, my lunch, check the time, see how far I've got left to go. I think from here it's rather 12 or 14 kilometers to Metcalf Rock, but it's been over a year, as we now know, since I've been here. Okay, let's filter some water. My coffee in my Boundless Voyage titanium pot. Oh yeah. My cup of soup, instant potato, and crackers. The asparagus soup, cup of soup that we packed out of the UK. We've still got 1, 2, 3. I think I've still got one more of those left. One more serving. Okay. I don't know if you can hear it in the distance. Sounds like farm equipment, maybe like a combine harvester or something. Not sure if we get to see it or not. Trail goes this way. We'll see. I'm going to enjoy my lunch. Okay. Break time. Lunch is over. It's around 11:30 now. I had my coffee, my cup of soup with potatoes, a Mars bar, Should have lots of energy now. And I filled my 600 ml electrolyte water. So we should be good to go. We've got about 15.5 kilometers from there, from where we had break to where we camp. And we've done about 13.5 to get to where we had lunch. So we're doing okay. We have a ways to go, but we're doing okay. Yeah, everything is just fine. There are deer flies out today, but I'm not noticing a ton. Some mosquitoes, but not a ton. So significantly less mosquitoes than there was just a week and a half ago when we did the 50-kilometer 2-day hike to the Big Head overnight rest area. Yeah, significantly less bugs. Okay, let's just lay down some miles. So we arrived at the Trail Tales box. Yes, we did. And in here is the Trail Tales book. And we wrote our story. 2-day, 1-night well camp, Beaver Valley section, Bruce Trail. Sweat. You see it? Whew. Lots of sweat. Let's get to it. A beautiful little water source. Nice little bridge to walk over and sit on for a few minutes. Take a look at that. So, I just filtered, about 500 ml of electrolyte water, just to fill up my 600 ml electrolyte bottle. I'm gonna take a little break here. Oh man, see how far we have left to go. Let's just do that right now, see where we're at. We'll bring up the Bruce Trail app. I spoke a little while ago about mosquitoes. Here there's a lot more mosquitoes, but we're right next to the river. Okay, let's just see. We'll just highlight this little spot here where we are. Oh, then go to our destination spot where we want to be. .8 kilometers. 9.8 kilometers from here. We're doing fine. What time is it? 1:35. We're going to sit here for about 5 minutes. 10 minutes, say 1:45. We're going to carry on. We're doing okay. I think I'd said earlier we were going to get there around 5-ish. Ish being the key kind of thing there. Ish. Once again, this is only a short ways, but once again we find ourselves on a backcountry road, which I love. I do. And the sun's behind a little cloud. Kind of nice. And there's a gentle breeze. That's kind of nice too. It's about 30 degrees Celsius, no doubt about that. Lots of sweat today. Gotta keep hydrated. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just up here a little ways, we're going to make a left turn and get back into a single file forest. And then we're going to go around the edge, big edge of a couple of farm fields before entering back into the forest again. Oh yeah, unless of course we have a reroute that I don't know about, which we could have. Oh yeah. So while I'm here, I want to respond to a question, and it was more of a comment/question, and I'm not sure who it was from. I know it was from a male person, but he had like a name or a number. It was a number And anyhow, he said, I noticed in one of your videos you'd mentioned you preferred the Tiger Wall, the Big Agnes Tiger Wall, over the Durston X Mid 1 tent, which is true. I did say that. I have had both of them. So he said, why? He said, I was thinking of a Durston, but he said, you've kind of got me second thinking to myself. So this message or comment only came in a few days ago. I hope you can hear me. It's quite windy out now. But anyhow, I'm a fan of Big Agnes, but I did see all the hype about the Durston and I wanted to really give it a try because I was looking for a good tent that was very light and durable and so on and so on and so on. And I thought, well, maybe the Durston is that tent. Well, so I bought the Durston X Mid 1. I also wanted something that had a smaller footprint. Now, I've mentioned all this before, but we'll do it again because it's important. It's important. When I got the Durston, the X Mid 1, there was a few things about it I didn't like. First of all, the vestibules are huge, which is great, but it's got a bigger footprint than my Big Agnes Copper Spur UL2, which is the tent I had at the time. And I was looking for something with a smaller footprint. Secondly, no big deal, the steaks they sent me were absolute garbage. They wouldn't go into butter. Just garbage steaks. Now, not a big problem. Most guys change to their own steaks anyhow. But my issue was, why, with a supposedly quality high-end tent, would you send me garbage steaks? Why would you do that? I'd rather you just didn't send steaks at all. Thirdly, the inner mesh was so delicate that, I think we're just gonna poke through the side here because there's no actual fence. So the inner mesh was so delicate that you just poke through it. I mean, just with my fingernail or closing the zipper and so on, I put holes in the inner mesh. It was very, very, very weak. And of course, that was, I suppose, designed that way to help with weight savings, but again, it was just poor quality. When I sold mine, which I did, within a few months of buying it, I sold it, realizing it just really wasn't any good. I had several little holes in it. Thirdly, it's shaped in such a way, I realize it's a trekking pole tent. I understand it's got to be erected correctly, set up correctly. I get it, I understand. I found that tent for me a challenge to set up correctly insofar as it had such high sides that it was like a sail in the wind. I just didn't like that either. So if that answers those questions, well, that question, I just didn't like the Durston X Mid 1. It just did not work for me. I much sooner prefer the Big Agnes Tiger Wall. When I sold the Durston, I went back to a two-man tent, lighter than the Copper Spur, which again was a Big Agnes Tiger Wall. Slightly smaller interior-wise than the Copper Spur, but still huge room in there, and yet a significantly smaller footprint than the Durston X Mid 1, due to the fact of, again, the huge vestibules, which are handy, but I'm just not sure why with a one-man tent you have such big vestibules on both sides. I mean, you could sleep under a vestibule in that tent. Just took up way too much space. So that was it. Hope that answers those questions. I'm not knocking Dan and Dan Durston's products, just did not work for me for what I was shopping for at the time. Now, if I wanted a single person tent with 2 doors and 2 huge vestibules and tissue paper for mesh, inside mesh, and steaks that were garbage, then it would probably work perfectly. But it wasn't what I was looking for. Okay. Big Agnes Tiger Wall. Now, I've also complained about it. Mine is what they call the Tide, or the dyed, sorry. Helps reduce weight. It doesn't have a particular color, so it just looks like a light cream color. White, but off-white cream. Which doesn't lend itself much to being stealthy, but you know what? You just kind of adapt to it, to be honest with you. And I've had no problems. So, that's it. Okay. I think with about 8.5, 8.75 kilometers to camp at this point. So, let's just keep pushing forward. We've looked at this sign before, but it's so interesting. Let's look at it again. Old Mail Road. From the 1830s to the 1850s, the Old Mail Road linked the post office hamlets of Duntroon, Rob Roy, Rabanna, Heathcote and Greersville, and brought pioneering settlers to the townships of Osprey, Collingwood and St. Vincent. This section of the Bruce Trail follows that historic route. Well, that is amazing. We are walking in the footsteps of the people that were here in the 1830s and the 1850s, 1840s. Oh yeah, we're following in their footsteps. How cool is that? Okay, so this is the Cliff Nut Butter Bar. Peanut butter, yeah, plant-based. I'm not particularly a Cliff kind of guy. However, I saw these bars, different packaging, okay, and it says Cliff on it, but I thought, well, I'll try it, and I purchased 4. I had one of them yesterday after just a short 11-kilometer kind of back road walk that I do. Oh, excuse me. Oh, after the gym. Oh, excuse me. And I enjoyed it. So I'm gonna have another one now, and I've got 2 more in my pack. I brought the 3 left of the 4 with me, and that could be a new addition. Could be a new addition to my hiking bars. Could be. Yeah, look, see the leaves dancing? Getting a nice breeze here. We're in the shade. Yeah. About, give or take, close enough, 1 kilometer to camp. That's good. Now, you remember earlier we said we'll be there by 5. Well, I do not know what time it is. I didn't cheat. I haven't looked for a while, so I don't know. However, it's been a hot day, sweaty day. I did cut myself short of water for the last 3 or 4 hours of this trail. So I'm going to say it's going to be later than 5 o'clock. A little bit later. I don't know. Maybe. But anyhow, we'll see. We called 5 o'clock, so we'll see how close we are. We get to camp, we'll pick our spot. Now, don't forget, I haven't been here since last year, so I don't know what happened in March here with the ice storms. I really don't know the damage, or if things are being cleaned up, or whatever. So we'll see. But hopefully my favorite camp spot is available. If not, we will find something else. And we'll get some water from the spring. We'll down probably a liter of it. And then we'll set up camp. Maybe take a little rest, and then set up camp and make dinner. Sounds like a plan, yeah? Okay, let's keep going. Okay, the Metcalf Rock. Now, this is an extremely popular, although I don't think there's anybody here right now, but it's an extremely popular rock climbing location. In fact, all the tenting that we're about to arrive at, just to my left, is all created by the rock climbing associations, groups, clubs, conservatories and whatever's, so on. Primarily, I guess, then for the rock climbers. However, they have no problem whatsoever with hikers sharing their space. And here we are. This is the tenting area. You will see fire pits, squares, like over there, seating areas, logs, so on. Things that the rock climbers have essentially created. My spot, the spot that I like, is right over here by this big log, and everything looks great. So I don't know if the rock climbers cleared up here or if there was just no debris, but looking perfect. Right here is the spot, but there's spots over there and over there and behind here, but this spot right here, and as you can see, well used campfires and so on. We're going to tent right down there tonight. Okay, let's go get some water. So I decided not to put my tent on this side of the log. I, for whatever reason, this time decided to go on the other side of the log. It seemed like a good idea. Anyhow, I am going to get another refill of water down at that spring. Plus, I'm going to take my buff with me, and you guys. I'm going to take you guys with me. And I'm going to just wash some of the sweat off my head, my hands, and a couple of other places. And yeah, won't be long before we'll be in bed tonight, that's for sure. Okay, let's go get some more water. The deer flies are really bad through here. But anyhow, if you can see this pipe coming out of the rocks, there's the river itself, a bridge. Over there you'll see another seating area and campfire. That's for the Toronto Outdoor Club and Hiking Club. They have a big cabin just over there. Anyhow, this is spring fed. It's just a spring. It flows just like this 365 days a year. And we're just going to fill that up. Oh, beautiful spring water. Okay. Oh, I don't want to fall over. Okay, that feels better. I just gave my hands, my face, my neck, and so on, just a good wash. My hair, my head, a good wash with that spring water, and washed out my buff. That's all I did. That'll be just fine. Okay, we'll head back to camp, and I think at this particular point, because I won't be long before I'll be in bed. I'm tired, and we're going to set up an early morning call, wake up for 4 a.m. We'll probably just pack up in the morning, hit the trail, and then a few kilometers down the trail, there's a bench. And quite often from this little spot, depends how hungry I am when I wake up, but quite often I just wait till I've done that 2 or 3 kilometers, and then well, it's actually, let me see, it's about 3.5 kilometers. And then I have my breakfast and coffee in there on that bench. So I might do that in the morning. I usually do that from this spot. I don't know why. I just got into the habit of doing it. It's a nice bench there to sit on. In the distance, you can see the Thornbury water tower. Anyhow, so we'll see how hungry I am when I wake up, how in need I am for my coffee. If I'm just going to have it here, or if I'm going to do that 3.5 kilometers or whatever and then have it. Either way, I'm going to bid you good night, and I will see you bright and early in the morning. Good night, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Well, welcome to day 2 of our 2-day hop in the Beaver Valley section of the Bruce Trail. 60 kilometers over 2 days with a wild camp, just for fun. Leaving camp, leaving the Metcalf Rock. Whew. Yeah. I gotta just make sure we get back on trail properly. It's dark out here, although I've got my light on. Okay, let's get to it. There's a blaze right there. We do the climb out of the rock. What a beautiful morning. Oh my. A gentle breeze would be nice, but there is none. No breeze at all right now, anyhow. Not a cloud in the sky. Last night when I checked the weather for today, the weatherman said 26 degrees Celsius for a high. So that's actually significantly cooler than yesterday that was in the low 30s. Yesterday was a challenge, and I made a classic mistake of not drinking enough liquids or carrying enough liquids. So by the time I got to camp, I was struggling. Signs of dehydration. But we did see that wonderful spring water. I probably drank, when I got there, setting up camp and throughout the rest of the evening, probably 2 liters of water. Got my body all balanced out again, as far as hydration's concerned, anyhow. Had my dinner. Oh, by the way, with all that talk about, 5 o'clock we'd arrive at camp, we'll check the time, I totally forgot. But for some reason, the number 5:19 is in my head, even though I didn't look at my clock. So I'm calling it at 5:19 we arrived. And yeah, that's what I'm thinking anyhow. So yeah, today, well, still going to be a pretty warm summer's day. I'm carrying more water. I don't want to make the same mistake I did yesterday. So I packed up my 600 ml of electrolyte water and then another, say 500 ml backup in my camp bottle. Because it did a ways until we see water this morning. All the water is in the last half today, or the first half yesterday. We were stopping at the fairy pools, little bench. Has a planned lunch spot, coffee, maybe some ramen noodles today with a little potato for lunch. Maybe, we'll see, but probably. Oh, I do have some bacon too. Okay. The view through the trees, there's actually thornberry down there, but you can't see it. There is a layer of mist over the water. Yeah. On both sides, well, actually on this side. Oh no, it's there too. On this side here, and down here, well, that's all lilac. And in the summertime, it's beautiful. Or in the spring, late spring, it's beautiful. I'm at my little bench. Remember we said we might have breakfast here? Well, we didn't. We had breakfast at camp, but I'm going to take a little break here, about 3.5 kilometers in. Going to have a little break, little electrolyte water on a bar, and then we're going to carry on. We'll talk to you in a little bit. My little stove working away. So I think I'm going to go back to a pot with a heat exchanger. It's significantly quicker. Not that time is a problem, it isn't, but the amount of gas I use is. So I think I'm going to go back to a pot with the heat exchanger. We'll just have a look. Lunchtime, I'm having a ramen noodle, and I'm going to have some instant potato with it, and maybe some crackers. Maybe I'll put in a ketchup package. I think I have some in my bag, and if I do, I'll put in a ketchup package just to give it a little bit more flavor, or the kind of flavors I like. Funnily, yeah, those. Funnily, I'm not a particular chicken noodle kind of guy, but I do like tomato flavor. Like, you know, we used to get, I haven't seen it for a long time, was the tomato cup of soups. Tomato, Lipton tomato. They have chicken noodle and tomato noodle. But I haven't, oh, tomato beef or something. But I haven't seen the tomato beef for a long time. And they were by far my favorite, more so than the chicken noodle. However, yeah, the hike goes well today. It's going better than yesterday, only insofar as I'm more hydrated today and it's not as hot. That is much better for me. Well, lunchtime's over, and I enjoyed my ramen noodles, 2 individual packs of ketchup, instant potatoes, my coffee, and my lard bar. And I am full up. Yes, I am. Okay. We've got, well, a good afternoon of hiking ahead of us. There's no doubt about that. But at least we've had our nutrition. And I did filter another 600 ml of electrolyte water. So I'm carrying the 600 ml electrolyte water plus about a 500 ml backup. Just take a look at that view. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And in the fall, with the foreground fall colors, the evergreens beyond, gorgeous. Okay, let's just keep doing what we do, or at least let's keep doing what we try to do. So day 2, well, it actually goes very well. We're back in the Laurie Forest now. In fact, won't be too far to that big wooden deck platform. I just take a little break there and drink some electrolyte water. I just rest these weary bones for a while. Yeah. I think from there, it's about 7 kilometers back to the parking area on Maple Lane. Could be more, could be 7.5 to 8 because of the Bree route, but it's thereabouts. Anyhow, not as, definitely challenging today, no doubt about that, but not as bad as yesterday. However, I did notice yesterday when I started off yesterday morning, I just didn't feel like the spring in my step. I did feel a little more of that this morning, but yesterday morning I did not. And it just developed into a challenging day. Today goes well. Still challenging, there's no doubt about it. We're in the Laurie Forest now, which is my favorite, nice, easy, flat, easy going kind of section. And I like it here. Anyhow, we're doing fine. And I hope when the time comes for our next through hike, which is, in less than 3 weeks now, or about 3 weeks, sorry, then I just hope the temperatures are a little more moderate. Like 20 degrees Celsius would be perfect. Anywhere from 15 to 22, 24 is great for hiking. Once again, we're back on Maple Lane, heading back to where we parked the car, just down here, half a kilometer away. I have not looked at the time. This morning, when we started, we called out 3:45. I thought about the day, thought about the temperatures, the weathers, so on, and I called out for 3:45 in the afternoon arrival to my vehicle. Well, we're not there yet, but we're almost there. So, unlike yesterday's 5 o'clock arrival, called out for the camp, which I forgot to check. This time we will check. This time we'll look and see. And we called out 3:45. All right. Okay, just ahead of me, right there. In fact, you see the blaze on the tree to my left. Bruce Trail Blaze. My van at the Maple Lane Bruce Trail parking area, making sure we keep those driveways to the right clear. Don't block them. We're at the end of the Beaver Valley section. The Blue Mountain section starts here. So here's my van. I have not looked at my phone. I am reaching down to my pouch and I am opening it. I'm going to take out my phone and I haven't turned it on, but we called 3:45. I haven't turned it on, but I'm going to turn it on now. 3:57. 3:57. Do you see it? Do you see it? Now, I did not, let me put my phone away. I have not, in any way, shape, or form, I'll take it out of my sternum strap. So I have not, in any way, shape, or form, tried to calculate, manage, manipulate my time. So I arrived here close to, or on my projected time. I was 12 minutes off. But you can see the importance. I talked to you about this before, about numbers and hiking. By the way, there's a garbage can right here. Ooh. Numbers and hiking, so important for water sources, resupply. How long is it going to take me to get to a next water source, assuming I know how far it is, or the next resupply town, or whatever. How far am I going to get today? Well, you have to know how you hike. And I've crunched numbers a lot over the years. Again, I didn't in any way, shape, or form manipulate. I just looked at the distance, looked at the temperature, looked at the terrain, my pack weight, and said, okay, 3:45. Well, it was 3:57. Hey, we're back. That's it. We are done. my little trusty camper van. I got to dig up my keys because they're in my pack. Yeah. Hey. See you next time. Bye-bye.